Yes, Luis.
From Delaware expressed dismay at Delaware being added to the list of the 14-day quarantine. He said Delaware is a partner state, that its infection rate is not in the same league as the other states where they're going up. You know, we have commuters going between Delaware and the tri-state area. Have you spoken to him, and is there any consideration to take Delaware off the list or carve out some special exceptions?
We are looking at that, Luis, because he does have a good point, which is to make sure it's analogous, the situation between a higher infection rate in a smaller state versus a larger state. And he has been, he's a good governor, and he is a partner, and we do a lot of good work together. So there was nothing personal about it. It's just a formula, and if a state goes over that formula, but I understand his point, and we're looking at it. Did you want to make a comment?
No, I would just add on top of that, as the governor said, there's nothing personal about this. And there are certain states, like, for example, Vermont has a blanket quarantine. Anybody who comes into Vermont today has to do a 14-day quarantine when they enter. And so this is something that we did in partnership with New Jersey and Connecticut based on metrics that we believe determines and can accurately predict what the infection rate is in these states. And so Delaware is a great working partner. We're on calls with them, you know, twice weekly, and we will continue to talk to them. But just remember, in context, there are a lot of states around the country that have done blanket quarantines for anybody coming in, and so there's nothing personal.
Yeah, also,
States like Maine and even Connecticut, actually, I believe, they are using a COVID test as a substitute to the quarantine. If you tested negative within the past 72 hours, that could be used as a substitute for, you know, having to quarantine for 14 days. Why is that not being considered?
because it is being considered, but it's hard to administer here. What were the numbers on how many people coming in? Do you remember?
From other states daily, it's about 12,000 that are coming in from those impacted states daily. And the other issue is, because we did talk through the potential of a test, and it's something we're considering, but remember, a test is a snapshot in time, and there's a certain amount of time when you could have COVID and you could get a test and it won't come back positive. And so you're seeing issues crop up. I saw Laura Kern talking about this in Long Island, Dan McCoy talking about this in Albany. You've seen Phil Murphy talk about this in New Jersey. There are large pockets right now that are cropping up of infection rates that are being driven primarily by people who are coming in from these high impacted states. And so we have to protect the progress that we're making here. We have to do it based on the science and the data and the advice that we're getting from our health professionals. So we're continuing to evolve our approach as the information evolves, like everything with this disease. Nothing is the same as it was a week ago, but those are the considerations.
And also, Louisa, whenever you come up with, you know, there are a lot of good ideas,